Says I'm live. Hold on. I'm having some technical difficulties real quick here. Hold on. There we go. All right. If you guys can hear me, it looks like I'm having some. Everything was working about 2 minutes ago, and all of a sudden things went crazy. And so I'm going a little bit slower. Let me. Wow. How we looking? Look like I'm on. One, two, 1, 2. If you can hear me, go ahead and comment. I'm really slow right now, and I don't understand why. Let's see here. Everything everything is going slow. It's going crazy. Wow. Okay, everything is going crazy. I guess the enemy does not want me to interview Stephen Edmond Jr. So we're going to give it a few seconds here until it pops in, guys, until we get us a certain type of saying that the internet is acting a little funny, but I have full. It is literally happening. So with that, we're going to give it a few more minutes. So for those that have been anticipating this show and been wanting to see the show, I want to welcome you to the show, but I'm having some issues here. So give me a few seconds. What's up, Aaron? I'm so glad you're. I hope you can see me in real time, Aaron, but it feels like I am going so slow. It's crazy, man. It's going crazy. So let me try something real quick, man. Oh man, that's all I can do. That's all I can do. I got my guest waiting for me. He's backstage, and they're saying that something is wrong, man. Hey guys, hang on 1 second. I got a connection problem, which I 15 minutes ago. Let me try something. Let me, man. Hold on. We're gonna get this thing started. We're gonna get together. So give me a minute. Oh, okay. It's, it's acting crazy, y'all. Oh, it's acting crazy. Now let's see if that changes anything. Let's see if anything changes. Come on now. Couple more minutes. Couple more minutes. Wow. I was just telling my guests we never really. All right, let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens now. It's telling me to hold up for a second. Man, man, man. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. This is crazy. This is crazy. Ah, ah. This is crazy. All right, give it a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. If you can hear me, give it a few more minutes. Looks like my program is telling me to give them a few more minutes. They said they're working on the system, and that it's going to be it's going to be better in a second. Oh my goodness! Here we go. All right, listen. Let me see real quick how we're going to do this. How is this going to happen? Hold on, let me check something real quick. Uh, let me ask my guest here. Na 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 na. Okay. I don't believe that. It's okay. But I'm going to continue with this interview. Listen, if you can hear what I'm saying to you, I want you guys to know that you guys are my sponsors, and I thank you for what you've been doing and how you've been sponsoring and giving into the show. You guys have been a blessing to the throne. Once again, cash app us and take it to the throne. Your $5 a month, $1 a month. There's those putting $10 a month, then $100 a month. Let's go do that we're doing, I believe. So without further ado, because my YouTube don't see a slowdown version of me, because that looks kind of funny right now. I feel like I'm in those pictures, movements. It's weird, okay? But without further ado, in myself for quite some time, okay? Some of you guys know this guy is. Do not want to miss this interview. You can, matter of fact, you can go on Spotify. It's going to be on iHeartRadio, but it's going to be just a vocal hit at Podbean on iRadio, and you can see it on Spotify. I'm going to end. He's ready to go. He's ready to talk about what you guys are welcome to the show, Stephen Edmond Jr. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Stephen? You are now live.
All right. What's going on, everybody?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Live. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you now.
You can hear me? Bruce Love, you can't hear me. Yeah.
A little.
Something is crazy.
I
something went all the way haywire. Okay. Well, something went absolutely haywire, and I don't know what it is, but it went absolutely nuts. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, because the internet is acting a fool, I don't know. Okay, seems like I just got a text saying it might be my screen. Okay, so it looks like it's just on the screen now. Stephen Edmond Jr. Okay, listen, it's a treat to have you on my show. I've known you all my life, right? Right. Yeah. Most people don't know that I've known you all my life. Some people don't even know who you are to me, but I'll save that for later, okay? I'll save that for later. What I want to jump right in, and ask you a couple questions here.
Yeah.
When did you know that you could sing? When did you know that you had something that could can you woo woo woo? You knew you had it.
Well, I knew I could I knew that I could sing when I was maybe like 5. It was an early age. I would go in my dad's in his apartment, and he had the piano. I would get on his piano and bang. But also I would like make up songs, and to me I sound good. You know, I was like, in my kid mind, I was like, I have a voice. Until somebody really heard it when my dad lived in Pittsburgh, and I was out there with a couple of my friends, and I wrote this song when I was a kid. It was called "You Are the Stars." You are the stars. You are the moon. You are the sun. Hey. Over my head. Over my head. So I was like, I wrote that song. And I was singing it to a couple of my friends, and they're like, "Oh, we'll do the background." So we went around the whole apartment complex singing that song. And so my dad was the manager. So of course they were like, "Oh yeah, little Steven, you come on in here." And so I sang to like half of the complex of people. We just went around, my little group just went around to each apartment and knocked on the door and asked if we could sing to them. And they were like, "Oh, come on in, baby. Yeah, let's see you sing." And so that was like my first performance. I think I was like 11. So that was like my first performance singing in front of people I never knew. And then they told my dad, and he was like, "Of course, it's my son." So
yeah, of course you know how to sing, right?
Yeah.
Now, saying that, what genre of music really just gets you? I mean, it's when you hear, you go, "This is all I ever want to hear." What genre of music is that?
It's 80s and 90s R&B. That's all for me. I mean, I'm not saying that the new stuff is not good, but to my liking, it's 80s and 90s R&B. Just love it. That's always called to me. That's always been the one that I love, that grown and sexy music. And so that's basically what I listen to now. I mean, I listen to some new stuff, but majority of the time, like the new song with I think I want to say pronounce his name Anderson Pete. I think that's his name. I'm not really sure, but it's him and Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Leave the door open. That song, I listen to that over and over. My wife, like, she gets tired, but that just brings me back to the 80s and 90s. I just love that song too. So
that is the jam. That is the jam. And I got to tell you, I am an absolute 80s and 90s R&B guy. Some early 2000s, but 80s, 90s is my thing. If a new guy comes out with music and it sounds like that, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Okay, good. That's good to know. So I want the audience to know what type of music. Now let me say this: is the 80s and 90s R&B, is that something you feel needs to come back on the scene more, or do you think that what these youngsters are doing with the R&B now is the new thing?
I mean, everybody, can do their own thing. Is whatever you feel, whatever you grow up, you've grown up with. But for me, I believe that that type of music is coming back. You've seen what Bruno Mars did with, like I said, I can't think of his name, but the other guy that sang with him. But but they, that's the type of music that they play, and people are in love with. That's 80s and 90s R&B. He's bringing back the funk, that love making music, and so there's nothing wrong with the other type of music if that's what you like and that's what you enjoy. But how I feel is, like, I believe that it's coming back, that it is back. I just think a lot of times people are not used to that sound, and they're not used to that type of the way that people are singing the lyrics of love and romance and stuff like that. So I think people are starting to get a hold of it. I think people are starting to understand it, and like, okay, this does sound good. It's the type of song my mom used to listen to, and that, so it kind of brings them back. And so that's what I enjoy. So I think it's coming back. I think it's back already.
Right. Okay. Okay. And I guess what I was going to ask you is, as a musician, as a songwriter, we're going to talk here in a minute about your company and what you have. You just started this company. You're not new to the music industry. You're not new to what you're doing. And so I guess my other question before because I want the people to kind of know who you are and know the thing that's happening to you and why you sing what you sing and why you do what you do. And along the lines is that would be your testimony. And I know some things about you, but my audience don't know. They've probably never even seen you before, and so a few of them haven't. And so we'll get into that. But do you think that we're missing that type of love and romance today?
I mean, I believe so. Like I said, it's out there, with like with her, is different artists that are singing that type of music, but it's not getting enough exposure because of, a lot of radio don't want to play that type of music because they believe that it's not in, but it's very prominent around, local areas, and it's talented people out there that make this type of music, but it's just not getting pushed by the media, the music industry, the media, the music media, and all that stuff. So it's hard to kind of get your sound to kind of stick because of pop and a lot of the new school that's coming out. With the romance, it's hard because a lot of times now people are called simps if they want to be romantic to a girl or loving to somebody, and then they think that they squares or they're simps, the new word, and it's like it's okay to romance your woman. It's okay to love her. It's okay to to sing about a woman who broke your heart, or sing about relationships, sing about, how love made you feel this way. And love is universal. So it never ends. And it's okay if you want to be, not romantic, that's fine. But deep inside, we know behind the closed doors, you talking about, baby, I love you, baby, I love you. Music is talking about, I just want you to, scrub my feet and vacuum my floor. And it's like, no, if you just trying to, if that's your image, then that's your true image. But we know behind the doors, you're not really like that, because not a lot of women want a man like that. If you think about it, a lot of them want that type of man that's going to, of course, be a man, but also show romance, tell them that they love them, tell them how much they appreciate them. And there's nothing wrong with saying that to a woman. There's nothing wrong with saying that to your partner. It's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you weak, or it doesn't make you any less of a man if you tell someone that you love them. And so I think a lot of times that music is getting pushed under the rug, because back in the 80s and 90s, you had Luther Vandross, People Bryson, Johnny Gill, Bobby Brown. You had, you had all, and if I'm missing a whole bunch, it's because, I'm trying to think, but it's so many out there that saying that type of music. And even with the New Jack Swing, it was about love. They love songs. And so it just had a hip hop undertone. And so, like I said, not knocking the new school. And they do have some songs out there that they talk about love, but the majority of the time it's not about that. It's, my whole thing is about respecting the woman, showing them love, all those things. And I think that's missing in this world.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you said it, because there's a lot of people that don't say it. And I'm glad you said that because, I would call myself a closet romantic, you know what I mean? And there are things I want to do or say and stuff like that. But if I'm with my woman, I'm not going to be bumping NWA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this going, girl. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw on that Johnny Gill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw on that Luther, or that New Edition. That's what I feel. So I'm glad you're sticking with the genre of music that you're talking about. I applaud you, and I'm glad you don't bend or break or try to do what everybody else is doing, because everybody else is doing it, and you're doing something. The few of you guys that are doing something with music that keeps the love and the romance involved, and the respect for women, and the respect for your spouse and your partner in love. And so, moving on from that really quick here, I know the audience is listening, they're watching. I got a few different comments already, but I want the people to know, why does singing motivate you? Something happened in your life, and I want you to explain that to the people. What happened to you to where you understood it later on in your life that this is what I have to do? This is my calling.
I don't know. My health stuff, but I don't. Yeah. What I can say is that I've always wanted to sing this before my health even happened to me. I mean, this was in me. This is my purpose. This is what God put me on this earth to do. And I didn't figure that out until later on in my life. This is like way after reading books, researching, trying to figure out what my purpose was. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times, a lot of people, they lose themselves in this world because we're all put on here with a purpose that we need to do something, whatever it is, man, woman, doesn't matter what you are, artist, doctor, lawyer, being a parent, being a mother, being a father, whatever your purpose is, you're put on this earth to do it. But when you fight your purpose, that's when disease happens. That's when you lose yourself. That's when you lose who you truly are. God put you on this earth for a purpose, and so you have to find that purpose, and truly not find it, what it is, but sometimes fear. And that's the thing about fear. Fear will stop you from living your true dreams, your true life. And if you allow fear to dictate you and sway you from your true purpose, then you're disrespecting what God has given you. This is a gift. He's put this purpose on you so you can share with the world. It's not a sin to share your purpose because God gave it to you. It's not wrong for you to share your purpose because this is what God has pushed you to and said, this is what you are here for, because you're giving him the glory. It's not about your glory, it's about his glory. So you're taking that purpose and you're giving it to the world. And if the world gives something back to you, it's okay. It's not because you're worldly. The world is just recognizing what God has given you. Now, once you praise God and you thank him for it, then people understand, oh my God, okay, I want to, like Chris Pratt, the guy that was an actor that's in the Avengers. His purpose was to be an actor. The movies maybe wouldn't have been what they were without him being there. So it was his purpose, his calling to do that. He still said, thank God. God is the one that did all this for me. He's a Christian. This is what he does. But he lived his purpose. So many people out there, so many people in this world that are not living their true purpose and just allowing the world to dictate what they should do and what they should not do. I agree. I agree with that. Me dealing with when I was 20, losing my kidney the first time, not knowing why it happened, not knowing what happened to me, why it was, why did it stop me? Because I was on my way with my music. I was in the studio with my cousin. I was making music. We were going to go on tour. We were going to do all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I was in college. I was in music school. All of a sudden, this happened to me. And so I lost my kidney. And, make a long story short, I lost it. I got a kidney transplant from my ex-father-in-law. His name is Victor Monarras. He gave me his kidney, and that kidney only lasted 2 years. I don't know why. Just it could have been they took me off my medications too fast, but it was just something that happened in my life. My faith was strong, but then it kind of broke down because I was like, God, why would you give it to me and take it away? But then as I got older and understood, it's not about what God taken away. It's things that just happened in life. This was just a plan that was put on me. It was just my plan. It wasn't, God doesn't do things. He doesn't give you gifts and take them away. It's my death was just life. Life happened. I had to deal with it. So I was on dialysis for 14 years. During that span, I had a rough time with a divorce, and my father passing away, and me being in the hospital for 2 years, had to learn to walk, talk, tie my shoes, all these things. But reflecting, sitting in that hospital, I was dying. And I prayed to God. I asked him, I told him, I was like, if you don't want me here, then you need to take me, because I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'd rather leave and go home than to stay in this misery, in this hospital for 2 years and watching life pass by. I mean, I tell stories that I looked out the window and I would see the seasons pass. I would look out the window. It would be like winter, and then it'll be like fall, and then it'll be winter, and then it'll be spring, and then it'll be summer, and it went like that, and it was like a time warp until I finally had to kind of get myself together and like say, okay, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I'm going to fight. And so I prayed and I told him that I'm not going to, hey, whatever you have for me, but I'm getting out of this. And I took the steps to do it because God already knew what I could do. He was allowing me to get through what I had to get through. He already knew I was going to get through it. He just said, I'm going to allow you, because it's free choice. He's not going to come in and put his hands on me and say, I'm going to pull you out that bed. I had to put my feet on the floor to get up to walk. Once I start walking, that's when he pushed. That's when he helped. Other than that, it was nothing that I could do but to try and have faith. And that's the biggest thing, faith without works, right? If you don't have faith without works, it doesn't work. But if you have faith and you work, it's going to take off. You're going to do what you have to do. You're going to move. You're going to walk. You're going to grow.
Wow. That's the part right there. Your name is Stephen Edmond Jr. When we were younger, we call you Stephen. You like, don't call me that. I'm Stephen, right? And so, Steve, I don't know. And for those that's watching right now, Stephen Edmond Jr. is my little brother. Um, and the things he told you, it still amazes me because you cannot say, even as a man of faith as I am, and my brother's a man of faith, you cannot tell people that because you do a certain thing and you're at church every week, you're at prayer every Wednesday, you're this, you cannot tell people that they don't have a certain faith because they don't go to your church all the time. And this is something that I saw with my little brother. And I know his life was more than what I thought it could be. But God knew that. And that testimony, Stephen, right there, to me, I think a lot of people out there, what you said, I could have never coached that. I believe that's the Holy Spirit speaking through you to people out there that has this goal and dream in life, but for some reason, and you mentioned it could be fear, for some reason they won't get up and do it unless they're forced to through a sickness or financial problem or a divorce or whatever. What do you think?
Right. And the thing is, instead of, I read this book and I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
I read this book. It says, man, I think you guys should, check him out. I have his audio book. And he, when I first heard his book, just checking it out, I was like, it's called The War of Art. And his name is Stephen Pressfield. Okay. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Okay, he doesn't call it, it's fear, but we call it resistance. You know what I'm saying? You're allowing resistance to stop you. Okay, you can't allow resistance to stop you to reach your purpose. Resistance is everywhere. It wakes up in the morning with you. It eats with you. It talks with you. If you want to call it the enemy, you can call it the enemy. Whatever words you want to use, but it's called resistance.
Right.
When the hunter gets up and goes and hunt for his meal, he gets up, he kisses his wife, says hi to his kid, he goes out and he catches his food and he brings it back. He just fought resistance that day because he could have laid in the bed and said, no, I'm not going to go out and hunt. You know why? He needs to feed his kid. He needs to feed his family. So resistance, he didn't allow resistance to stop him. So he went out, hunted, got his catch, brought back the food, fed his family. The next day, it's the same thing. Resistance doesn't give up. It's going to always be there. But you have to be the type of person with faith and understanding who you are to fight resistance, because resistance will beat you up and beat you down. It comes in many forms. It comes in many ways. And it will talk to you as your own voice and telling you not good enough. You too old. Wow. This is not good. And the whole thing is that you have to put yourself in the arena. If you're not in the arena, and getting people yelling at you, screaming at you, telling them you're no good, and take that and let it bounce off because you have the armor of God right around you. You got to have tough skin. Anything you do, if you're a CEO, if you're a singer, if you're an artist, whatever you're doing, somebody is out there that's going to judge you about what you're doing, not because they hate you, it's because they're not able to do it. People don't see you and hate you for no reason. When you're doing what you feel is your dream, your purpose, they're hating on you because they feel that they can't do it. But the truth is they can. They just haven't found their purpose. Once they find their purpose, then they're not worried about you anymore. They don't care that you're making it. They're happy for you. But when you're in that arena and you got all those people looking at you and they're yelling at you and all this stuff, oh, your music is not good. You don't sound good. Yes, I might not sound good to you, but it's somebody out there that loves me, that loves my music. Right. So maybe my music is not for you. Maybe my art is not for you. Maybe my painting is not for you. But you know what it is? It's for that person, Susan or Diane or Jerome or whoever is out there going to love you because you're living your purpose and they see that.
Wow. See, and that inspires me. See, and I want people to get inspired by who you are and what you do. And you're right. You're right. So you're saying that people people for some reason will not live out their dreams or goals or try to achieve them because they're afraid of what people might say to them, or rejection. They're scared of this resilience, right? And they're afraid of that, and so they're not willing to fight back. So what you're basically saying is this entity is going to fight you every day of your life, and you got to get up and you got to get up and fight harder than they fight you. That's what it is. So people out there, listen. It's coming from Stephen Edmond Jr. You never stop. You keep going and fight for your goals and dreams. And it doesn't matter who don't like what you're doing, because there is somebody else out there that loves it. There's 311 million people in America, right? And however many, 700 billion in the world. There's an audience for your gift, period. And so I appreciate that. Now that was that. I mean, I don't know. We could end the show with that. That was just phenomenal, and I'm so glad you shared that. But I want to get into the next level of your life right now. So you mentioned that you was on dialysis for 14 years. You had a kidney that you lost for whatever reason. You got up from there. You continue moving forward. You keep going. And today, are you on dialysis, or what's your status in health wise, and what is going on in your life today?
No, so our mother, sorry, she passed away. She passed away from breast cancer and lung cancer in 2015. After she passed away, I got a call. It was May 2nd. Yeah, that's me and my wife's anniversary, May 2nd. I got a call, or after that, May 8th. Sorry, I got married on May 2nd. May 8th, I got a call for a kidney transplant. That was in 2015. This is now 2021.
Wow.
8 years. So God is good. They told me when me and my wife went to Sacramento, maybe 3 years prior, or after, I should say, or prior, I'm sorry, before that, we went into UC Davis. The doctor told me and my wife, or she was my girlfriend then, she told me, well, you're going to have to move to LA to be in Cedar Cyanide. I think that's like in LA. So yes. I think I'm saying it right. Because
Cedar Cyanide.
Your antibody's too high. You ain't going. You're never going to get a transplant. They're going to have to do all this. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. I was like, that's not what. And I told the doctor, I said, that's not what my God told me. And he was like, well, I'm telling you. And he said, no, but I'm telling you. And I was like, well, that's not what my God is telling me. And that's not what my God told me. So I said, thank you. But I'll be seeing you back here again when I get my kidney. He was like, oh, yeah, okay. And I walked away. My wife, we were having lunch, and she was like, I can't believe you said that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but he's a doctor, but he's not Dr. God. So and I told her I named and claimed it. That's mine. The kidney is mine. It's not coming in my time. It's gonna come in his time.
Come on.
Here it comes. All of a sudden I started getting calls. I started having all these things. My mom passes away. I'm still not losing my faith. I said, yeah, I'm getting one. Boom. I got a call, got in there, got the transplant. And thank God it's been working for me perfectly. I have perfect test results every month, and I'm doing really good. I'm living my dream. Yeah. That's
right. Well, see, that's what people need to hear that. See, I don't know how many people could have waited that long or have done what you've done, but God gave you that strength. And I really am glad that you're in my life to see something like that happen. Sometimes we only see faith on a certain end, a certain level, or our side. Okay, maybe I've seen some miracles, I've seen some different things happen, but to see, and this is what I'm kind of getting at. I think as believers, we put people in a certain box saying this person believes in God more than this person believes in God because I'm at church every Sunday, or I'm in the church choir. You know what I'm saying? So that guy is more godly than somebody like a Stephen that's laying in a hospital with a God gift to give to the world of singing and a gift of teaching. And I think that we have to stop doing that and allow God to be God and allow God to be who he is to every single individual, and stop pressing what we feel God is on everybody else. And I'm so glad that your story of faith goes beyond anything that I've ever heard or read. And I'm talking, and I read a lot of scripture, I read a lot of books, but your faith being that close to me, my blood brother, to see that happen in your life, and I'm just excited. So we've been on here for 42 minutes, we're like 32 minutes, but I want to get to now vocal superpowers. Please tell us what vocal superpowers is all about, and then we'll wrap this thing up. And what I want to see people, I want to see people flock to your website, flock to your email, and just find you and get in contact with you and have a conversation with you and learn from you. So go ahead and explain what vocal superpowers is.
Well, I have a vocal coach. His name is Eric Arsenal. I'm part of the A Approach coaches right now. He's been coaching me as a student for over 5 years, and I've been 5 years, and then I've been as a very regular student. But for the last 3 years to 4 years, he's been coaching me to be a vocal coach. I'm already at my last part of vocal coaching, to get my certificate. And so by him, I am certified in the way of where I can go out and coach. But the thing is, I can't use the Eric Arsenal name, or the A Approach name until I get certified. But I've already started coaching. He's already approved me to start coaching.
Wow.
And so I came up with vocal superpower because me and him, we have the similar voices, and we all have certain superpowers in our voice, where certain special techniques, special things. If you might have a really good head voice or a really good mixed voice, or you have a really good whistle, that's your superpower, your special thing that you have that God has given you in your voice. If you're a singer, you can sing really high belt notes, and so what I'm saying, I want to unlock your vocal superpower. I want to help you find that by understanding how to breathe the correct way. When people say, "Oh, breathe from your diaphragm," people go, "What are you talking about?" Basically, you cannot.
I don't know.
You cannot breathe from your diaphragm. Your diaphragm can be strengthened, but you do not breathe from the diaphragm. It's a lot of technical things that go into understanding the breath and how to breathe from your pelvic floor, how your lats and your ribs, your lats flex out, your ribs flex out, your epigastrial muscle here flexes out. And so everything is up. So when you're singing, you're staying open. But if you're like, everything breaks down. So you have to think of it like a balloon. When you're singing with the breath, you're opening up, and then how you let the balloon out really slowly. That's how you want the body to collapse. Slowly. Wow. You don't want the body to collapse fast, because that's when you get those, "I love you, I need you," you
right.
Breath. Yeah. "I love you, I need you." You're open. You stay open. I like it. And that's how you control the sound. There's a lot of technical things that I can get into, but what the vocal superpower, I want to help you unlock your certain vocal superpower. What makes your voice unique? What makes your voice stand out from other vocalists? Instead of you sounding like your favorite singer, like, if you say Jaheim or, somebody out there that's, that you love, Justin Bieber or whoever you want to sing like, Kirk Franklin or any type of church singer, whatever. You don't want to sound like that singer because they already have that type of singer. They already have a Brian McKnight. They already have this person. They already have that person. You want to sound like who you are. So if it's Alan Hall, you want to sound like Alan Hall. You don't want to sound like Bobby Brown. You don't want to sound like, you don't, because we already have a Bobby Brown. So we want to unlock whatever makes your voice special. I want to unlock whatever makes your voice special. And then so you can showcase that to the world and be confident in that aspect, and be confident and know that I know how to do it, but also have a healthy way of doing it where you won't get vocal nodules and hemorrhages and all those type of things. Breathing is the life of your voice. Without breath, there's no voice.
Wow.
And that's the whole concept of the air approach. And that's what I've been taught. So also with the vocal superpower.
Okay. And that's phenomenal. We've been singing all the way back since we was in the kitchen singing Lean on Me, doing what we called slave work back at the time, washing dishes and mopping floors and singing Lean on Me. And so
Yeah.
I've always known you had a great voice, and I've always said to people, my brother sings like Brian McKnight. You know, it's just who I relate that to, and I know he has some different other vocal exercise that he does, but as far as a tone, a sound, I've always told everybody that all my life. So, but what I wanted to find out real quick, and I want people to hear your music, but what's the age group? Where do you start? What's the start? What's the end age? I mean, who do you teach?
I teach all that come. If you sing country, pop, rock, metal, gospel, classical, opera, it all works.
Okay.
It's no genre that the A approach, but also the vocal superpower that I can't teach. I can teach it all. It doesn't matter what age. I have a student that's 16. I've had a student that was 13. I've had a student that was 6. There's a student right now, I think she's like in 8th grade. She's in 7th grade. So she's like 12. It can from 9 up, from 10, however you want, whenever they're ready. If you feel that you want to give them vocal lessons, if they're singing at 3, we can do it, but I said, the little ones are hard to kind of get, control of because they're antsy. I've worked at a daycare for over years, and so it's hard with little kids. It's hard to kind of keep their attention span with this type of stuff. But once they get old enough, from 5 and up, you can work with them. I have my lessons are 40 minutes. That's my lessons are an hour, and I have 30 minutes lessons, and the hour is 40 for an hour, and then my 30 it's the 30-minute lessons are 30 for an hour. And so I say, you can, my information is there. My email, Stephen Edmond Jr. or STEPHENEA49@yahoo.com. And it's there. And so if you want to email me, I have information that I'll send you, so then you can set up the time that you want. I have the thing called Calendly, and then you can figure out what time you want. You can choose your time. You can choose the day. I have Venmo. I have all those things. Venmo. My mind is slipping. Skype, and I have Zoom.
Okay.
I don't usually use Zoom, but I use Skype more. So I said, once you book a lesson, then that's when that information comes in, and then we talk about what I can help you with and what you have problems with, if you have problems, or if it's breath control, airiness, closing your cords, all these different things that that you might think you might need help with. I answer all questions to the best of my abilities, and I try to help you to unlock your vocal superpower.
All right. Well, I think that's fantastic. And if you're listening right now, if you're hearing this, you'll be hearing this on my podcast at podbean.com or Spotify or iHeartRadio. If you're going to be listening to the vocal part of it, if you have a child, a teenager, if you're an adult, listen, Stephen Edmond Jr. is the way to go. I want you to understand right now, if you are having some areas where you want to get better, he can teach you that. He is here to unlock your vocal superpowers. And so I hope your emails are flooded. I hope you are so booked up that you're going to have to come back on the show, Stephen, and we're going to have to do it again, right? And just have you do some singing and everything. We're going to have to do it. And so for those that's out there, he's available, but his calendar is going to be full very soon. It's going to be packed. So you better get in now before you have to book him in a year in advance. That's how it's gonna happen. Listen, hey, we're approaching an hour, And so what I want to do is I want the people to get a little snippet or something of your music and what you are doing, because you talk the talk and you walk the walk. And so I want you to know you ain't out there talking about I teach vocal lessons and you ain't never been in the studio. So you're not that guy. You always in the studio, always putting down music and always singing and always writing music. I remember you was writing music back in the day. Some people call them poems, but they was music, okay? That was music. So won't you go ahead and give us a little sneak peek of something you've been working on or something you got up on your website?
All right, let me see. Yeah, yeah. Come on, come on. Let's go.
Hey.
Can't resist you, baby. I can't resist your love. Girl, you make me feel so happy. I love holding you in my arms. At times I know we argue, and I hate when we fuss and fight. But I know you're the only one that loves me. When I act like a child, girl, you know you drive me crazy, girl. You know I need your love. Yeah, I can't live unless I need your love. Let's go.
Wow, listen, I was like, wait a minute, keep going, man. But you know what? I would keep going. Your nephew came in the studio and he over there gigging and dancing. You know, like when I was young in the kitchen, it's 2939 16th Street, right? And so he's over there grooving to the music. And listen, bruh, I gotta tell you something. Real quick before we gotta get out of here. I am so glad that God gave me you as a brother. I am so glad I'm able to see the things that God has done in your life. And I'm so glad that you are making the music you're making. Never stop going. Keep it up. I know you won't stop until God's done with you here on this planet. And I'm so excited that you came on the show today and just bless my audience. You bless me more than anybody, but bless my audience. And I just want to say, any last words?
Yeah, so you can find me on Spotify, SoundCloud. It's Stephen Edmond Jr. It's STEPHEN Edmond EDMOND JR. My website, the same thing. You just type in StephenEdmondJr.com. You can go to my website. You can leave your if you want like an exclusive when my new songs are dropping. You can leave it in the your email in my email box. But like I said, I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud. You can also purchase my music on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, all the streaming platforms. Like I said, it's all Stephen Edmond Jr. If you want to follow me, I'm on Spotify. I'm on Facebook, Stephen Edmond Jr., Instagram at Stephen Edmond Jr., TikTok at Stephen Edmond Jr., and hey, at Twitter, Stephen Edmond Jr., everything, all my handles are Stephen Edmond Jr. So like I said, my songs are out right now on the what do you Apple Music, and so you can check.
Okay, Apple Music. Okay.
Yeah, you can check all my music out on Apple Music, and there you go. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it, and thank you everybody for listening. And God bless.
God bless you,
also,
little brother. That's right. That I can't wait for the merch to come out because I want the back of my shirt to say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, hey, God bless you, and kiss the family. Tell them I love them. And listen, we'll chat soon here. You know, and like I said, I'm just so glad you was on Take It to the Throne. I'm your host, Alan the Bishop. If you guys just tuned in, you've been on Take It to the Throne with Stephen Edmond Jr. Listen, vocal superpowers. Go get the stuff. Stop playing with him. Don't sleep on him because you're going to be wishing you had his merch before they went crazy on him, okay? God bless you, man. I love you.
One love.
One love. We out.